Hey there everyone, it's Mrs. Tollison. I just am doing this Bodies and Systems review video that I told you about so that you can get ready for the upcoming test. You can have your notebook out if you want, or you can just have maybe a pen and paper so you can jot down things if you feel like it's something that you still need a little more information on, or if you have any questions you can ask me the next time we meet. Please remember, you can watch this video as many times as you want. You can press pause to look at some of the diagrams or to give yourself more time to read what's on the screen. Here we go. So just as a refresher, the learning objectives for this unit, by now students will be able to use an argument supported by evidence from the things we've talked about in class, the activities we've done, for how the body system, how the body is a system of interacting subsystems. So that's other smaller systems working together. And that you'll also be able to explain that these subsystems are composed of groups of cells. We've talked about from the beginning, within living organisms, within living things or organisms, there are different levels of organization. And those levels go from very simple to very complex. So in order, from simple to complex, we've talked about there's the cell level, then next after that is the tissue level, organs, organ systems, and then a complete organism. Again, that's going from simple to complex. Let's go over the definitions for each of these terms before we move on. We've talked about cells before, but just once again, cells are the basic unit of structure and function of all living things. They're the building blocks of life. And we've talked about in this unit, there are hundreds of different types of cells in the human body. This picture just shows a few different examples. You have red blood cells, skeletal muscle cells, smooth muscle cells, cardiac muscle cells, which we looked at under the microscope, as well as red blood cells. There are skin cells, bone cells, nerve cells. There's hundreds of different kinds of cells. These are just a few examples. That is, again, the most simple level. After that, we have tissues. Tissues are made up of similar cells that all work together to perform a specific function or job. The key part there is it's a group of similar cells. It's not just a bunch of random cells thrown together. You have to have a group of similar cells. So, like in this picture over here, nervous tissue is made up of a bunch of nerve cells. So, a group of nerve cells together make nerve tissue. A group of cardiac muscle cells make cardiac muscle tissue. A group of skin cells make skin tissue, and so on. Organs are the next level of organization. So organs are made up of different tissues. So you have to look at the level before, and that groups together to make the next level. So organs are made up of different tissues that work together to perform a specific job or function or activity. And this job is a little more complex than the job of the tissue, and so we need multiple tissues to do it. If we look at this picture right here of the stomach, it shows the stomach is an organ and it's made up of many different tissues. There's smooth muscle tissue, there's loose connective tissue, nervous tissue, blood, columnar epithelial tissue. There's multiple different tissues all working together to make up the stomach, which has to do a more complex job than any of these individual tissues by itself. And this picture over here shows a variety of different organs. I think a lot of us think of the brain, the stomach, the lungs, the kidneys, the heart as being organs, but things like the ear, the tooth, the eye, those are all organs as well, because according to this definition, they meet the definition. They're made up of different tissues working together to perform a specific job or activity. The next level after organs is organ systems, is when you have a group of two or more organs that work together to perform a specific, even more complex function than the organ does on its own. So you have to have organs working together. And here in this picture it shows 6 different examples. There are 11 systems altogether, and we'll see that coming up on another slide. But these pictures show an example: circulatory system, nervous system, respiratory system, digestive system, skeletal system, and muscular system. These are 6 of the 11 that we've talked about in class. And then the final level of organization that we're talking about is the whole organism itself, which is an entire living being, carries out all the basic life processes. It's made up of many organ systems working together. We've really, in this unit, been focusing on the human body and systems of the human body, but many of these levels are found in animals. Some of the levels are found in plants. Not all organisms have all 5 levels. So, and that's shown here. Levels of organization, again, just talks about the fact that all living things are organized in levels from simple to complex. And just to note that not all organisms have all of these levels. Humans, we have all the levels. So in this picture here, it doesn't show the organism level, but you can have an individual cardiac cell, several cardiac muscle cells together form cardiac muscle tissue. Cardiac muscle tissue, along with other tissues, combine together to form an organ, which is the heart, and the heart is part of the circulatory system, along with the arteries and veins and capillaries and blood. That all forms the organ system, and then eventually you have the organism. So, systems of the human body. Now, you don't have to know all the systems and the parts of the systems. I'm just giving this brief overview of what they do, just as a refresher, so that you can remind yourself how the systems work together. We're going to talk a little bit in a couple minutes about some of the interactions, the way that systems work together. So the respiratory system, that's a system that's responsible, that mainly does your breathing. It takes oxygen into the body and exhales carbon dioxide. That's the main function of the respiratory system. The circulatory system is involved with pumping and moving the blood around your body, and that's important because the blood carries things to all the cells so that they can get what they need, including oxygen, nutrients from the food that we eat. And also, the circulatory system helps to take waste products away from the cells so that the body can get rid of them. Your nervous system is responsible for sending messages from the brain out to all the different parts of the body, and then the body communicates back to the nervous system and lets the nervous system and the brain know what's going on inside and outside the body. Your digestive system is for breaking down the food that you eat into smaller parts that called nutrients that your body can use, and then the nutrients are absorbed down in the small intestine, and they go out into the bloodstream to all the parts of your body. The digestive system is also responsible for getting rid of solid waste. Our muscular system is involved with movement of the body and within the body. So if you need to move your arm or your leg, the muscular system does that. But also when you eat food, the muscular system helps to move the food down your esophagus, into your stomach, and from there out into your intestines. So there's a lot of muscles moving inside your body that you might not really be aware of. Your skeletal system supports and protects your body, allows you to stand up. The protection part, if you think about your rib cage, protecting your heart and lungs, your backbone, protects your spinal cord, your skull, protects your brain. But it also has a very important job in making blood cells for the body. Your integumentary or skin system, it provides a protective outer layer that protects your body from the environment, from bacteria. And it also is a big part in gathering information on the outside environment. Is it hot? Is it cold? Are you touching something sharp? All of those things help the skin to communicate with your nervous system and let you know what's going on outside of your body. Your immune system helps you to fight off disease like colds and other even more dangerous diseases. Your reproductive system is responsible for making offspring, making more human beings. Your endocrine system, which we didn't talk about a lot, It's another system like the nervous system that's responsible for sending information around your body. But the endocrine system does that with chemicals called hormones, sends these hormones around the body that help control how you grow, help control the metabolism or how fast your cells do different activities. Things like if you get really nervous or frightened, it sends out adrenaline. So it's a chemical response system. And then the excretory system filters your blood and gets rid of liquid waste. And we talked about that. This is the system that helps to make urine on a daily basis. So a few different examples of systems working together. So our body systems don't work alone. They don't work in isolation. They work with each other, and that's needed in order for the body to work properly. So this example shows 3 different systems and how they interact. We've got the digestive system, the circulatory system, and the respiratory system. So when you eat, food is taken in and broken down by your digestive system. Once the food is digested and the nutrients are available, they get absorbed through the walls of the small intestines, and then they go directly into the bloodstream, your circulatory system. And your circulatory system will carry those nutrients to your individual cells, and then cellular respiration occurs there in the mitochondria. And that produces waste, which is then carried away by the circulatory system. On this side, when you breathe, air is taken into your body, into your lungs, by your respiratory system. The respiratory system pulls out the oxygen, and as the blood passes over and around your lungs, the oxygen moves into your circulatory system and is carried around your body and dropped off at your body cells again, so that in your individual cells, in the mitochondria, cellular respiration can occur. And then once that's happened, the second part of the job of the circulatory system is to take those waste products away. So it will take the carbon dioxide that's produced back to the lungs, where it can be exhaled back out of your body, and that kind of completes the cycle. Another example of systems working together is nervous system, muscular system, and skeletal system work together. When we did our in-class activity and you had to do a few jumping jacks and think about what systems work together, this is what was happening. So if you decide to do a movement, move your arm, move your leg, pick up a pencil, whatever it is, once you decide to do that, your brain sends a signal down the spinal cord, out through the peripheral nerves. We talked about those. Those are the ones that go out to every little part of your body, your arms, your legs, your fingers, your toes, all your muscles. So if you want to move your arm, the peripheral nerves in your arm will send a message to the muscle in your arm. The arm muscles, which are attached to the bones, so that's your connection between muscular and skeletal. The muscles help to move the bones of the arm when the muscles contract. And in this picture, it shows your muscles really work in pairs. So when you contract or shorten your bicep muscle, that pulls your arm up towards you. When it's time to straighten your arm back out, the biceps relaxes and the tricep muscle contracts or shortens, and that pulls your arm back down. Okay? And the last example of interaction is the circulatory and the skeletal system works together. So the bone marrow that's inside many of your bones is responsible for making blood cells that your body needs. So once the blood cells are produced, they enter the circulatory system and move around your body. So that's it for this review video. Again, please feel free to watch it as many times as you need to. Pause and look back through it, look through your notes, and I think you should be really good to go for our test next week. Good luck.